finally, what we all have been waiting for and calling for and questioning why it wasn't happening. Stephanie White has stepped up to the plate in defense of Caitlin Clark. I could not believe my ears, guys. I could not believe my ears when I heard this. Stephanie White actually being bold enough to stand on business and protect Caitlin Clark.
A cataclysmic tremor has just blasted through the heart of the WNBA, shaking its glittering rise to superstardom to its foundations. Rumors started as whispers, morphed into screams, and now alleged confirmations suggest an unimaginable reality. The league's most dazzling, most controversial, and unquestionably game-changing icon, Caitlin Clark, is supposedly stepping away from the WNBA. This bombshell revelation...
It is Stephanie White talking about Caitlin Clark being brought up in a lot of these conversations in CBA by other people and not her speaking herself. And I think this is a really interesting one. And it's clear from this answer, I've already listened to this, it's very clear from this answer that Stephanie White clearly, and Caitlin Clark, there's clearly a level of person, like, they clearly really like each other as people.
Allegedly announced by her own head coach, Stephanie White, Servimos dar sa ciencia de porziampo. This revelation has ignited a wildfire of disbelief and rampant speculation across the sports universe. Could it really be true? Has the player who alone drew unprecedented attention and an army of new fans to women's basketball suddenly reached a shocking halt in her career? The concept feels absurd, yet screaming headlines tell a radically different tale, demanding a deeper dive. The question buzzing through every mind is spine-chilling. Could the WNBA's brightest star already be flickering out? Caitlin Clark's explosive debut wasn't merely a highlight. It was a societal earthquake, a cultural whirlwind that rewrote the playbook for women's sports. Rising from Iowa's cornfields, she became a transcendent force, obliterating every college scoring record, mesmerizing millions, and flooding the Indiana Fever with unprecedented attention. Arena attendance shattered records, and television ratings rocketed to historic peaks.
And then Caitlin Clark kind of getting brought into that, Caitlin Clark responding to it. What has been your overall assessment of that dialogue and as it relates to your star player?
Yeah, I mean, I hate it all for Caitlin. I feel like, she's a 23-year-old kid who loves to play this game, who is a pawn in a lot of other people's games and a lot of other people's narratives. And I hate that for her. We're coming into a time in the WNBA where we're kind of part of the growing pains of becoming quote unquote mainstream professional sport is some of this stuff.
And her jersey flew off the shelves instantly, turning the once quiet league into a nightly spectacle. She wasn't just a player. She was a movement, a media hurricane, and a cultural icon all wrapped into one, sparking equal parts passion and debate. She was hailed as the savior, the golden ticket, the one destined to propel the WNBA to unimaginable heights, shouldering a nearly unbearable weight of expectation. A pressure that would challenge even the toughest veteran, a burden no rookie had ever borne. Her name alone guaranteed clicks, views, and fiery discussions, cementing her as the ultimate disruptor and undisputed queen of relevance. Yet the WNBA offers no soft landing. It's a ruthless, unforgiving proving ground. A relentless gauntlet of seasoned pros and unrelenting physicality.
I do think that we are at a pivotal moment in terms of the league's history. And look, I was a part of the very first collective bargaining agreement of the WNBA, where we wanted insurance all year long, to now where it is growing and players do deserve more. And leadership needs to reflect where we are as a league and also understand where we are as a league and where players' perspectives are coming from. And, we have coaches on the sidelines and Becky Hammond and myself, and of course Noah Quinn, who was in Seattle, who played in this league.
Caitlin Clark quickly collided with the harsh truth, facing a stark departure from college, where her brilliance often went unchallenged. From game one, she battled relentless aggressive defenses, double teams, suffocating traps, and a physicality that often sent her sprawling to the hardwood, testing both composure and grit. It was a baptism by fire, a brutal initiation into the league's unwritten rules and cutthroat competitiveness. Critics, pundits, and even peers seem to savor highlighting every misstep, questioning her transition, and debating her value. They tore apart her turnovers, scrutinized shot selection, and often ignored the fact she was a rookie facing unprecedented challenges. The punishing travel schedule, constant media glare, and unyielding pressure to perform under a microscope began taxing not just her body, but her spirit, revealing the stark reality behind professional glamour. This wasn't merely about scoring, it was survival in a league with fiercely guarded rules, a nightly battle for respect and adaptation. The shine of college glory dulled under relentless professional grind. Amid bruising games, physical tolls, and emotional fatigue, whispers grew louder with each missed shot, each punishing fall. Back-to-back games, cross-time zone travel, the mental strain of being the league's most discussed athlete, and the weight of carrying a struggling franchise fueled quiet, then louder speculation. Could even a generational talent like Clark sustain this pace without severe burnout, or worse, a physical collapse? Rumors swirled about public frustrations, energy dips, and social media chatter hinting at a breaking point. Analysts, ex-players, and fans openly questioned the sustainability of her punishing schedule, noting how stardom's glow can fade under intense pressure. Top athletes, from tennis legends to basketball icons, have shared struggles with mental health and career overwhelm. The professional sports pressure cooker pushes athletes to the brink, forcing tough future decisions where even the smallest sign of struggle ignites a wildfire of what-ifs online. Clark's silence, usually seen as focus, was now being read as a subtle cry for relief, fueling speculation further. Sign of focus was now being read by some as a quiet plea for relief, stoking rumors of an impending shocking move. Amid this storm of scrutiny and speculation, Fever head coach Stephanie White remained a steadfast anchor, guiding Clark through a turbulent rookie season. A former WNBA player herself, White knows the league's relentless demands inside out. She has consistently spoken with calm authority about shielding her star, managing soaring expectations, and maintaining a long-term vision for both Clark and the struggling team. She has repeatedly stressed the critical importance of player welfare, the absolute necessity of strategic rest, and the careful developmental steps any rookie, especially one of Clark's caliber, needs to achieve lasting success. Her words, measured and forward-looking, have offered a vital, though often overlooked, glimpse into the complex decisions involved in protecting a superstar's career. She has consistently hinted at the long game, emphasizing that a single season, however historic, is just the opening chapter of a far larger, enduring story. White has been the calm eye in the storm, navigating unprecedented media scrutiny and physical demands on her star, illustrating the delicate balance between maximizing impact and preserving longevity. Every public statement she made was dissected, scrutinized, and, as would soon unfold, dangerously misinterpreted. So, when reports claimed Stephanie White had officially confirmed Caitlin Clark was done with the WNBA, it didn't just make headlines, it detonated across the sports world. Fans gasped, analysts debated furiously. Social media erupted in a maelstrom of shock, outrage, and frenzied speculation. The story spread like wildfire, fueled by breathless reporting and unverified claims. Hashtags trended, outrage poured in. Even the WNBA's recently skyrocketing popularity seemed to tremble. How could this be? It felt like an impossible betrayal of all the promise Clark embodied, a sudden, brutal halt to a story barely beginning. Yet, as is often the case with sensationalism, the real story lay beneath the surface of the provocative headline. While the internet devoured the shocking claim, a closer reading of White's statements revealed a very different truth. The confirmation was not a career-ending declaration that Clark was leaving the league or abandoning her WNBA dream. Instead, what Coach White had carefully communicated in a nuanced, strategic discussion about player management and off-season planning was that Caitlin Clark would simply step away from her grueling summer obligations, receiving an extended, much-needed period of rest and recovery. The coach strongly emphasized the vital need for her generational talent to recharge physically and mentally, hinting at a deliberate scaling back of non-essential duties, like exhibition games or overwhelming media appearances, to safeguard her long-term health and peak performance in future WNBA seasons. This was a declaration of strategic rest, a proactive move for sustained excellence, not a permanent goodbye. While the dramatic phrasing describing the break taken out of context, certainly fanned the flames of misinformation. The official statement was in reality a careful clarification of long-term planning, grotesquely spun into a clickbait disaster. The media frenzy that erupted afterward was a spectacle unto itself. Outlets raced to break the news, often without verifying the full context, triggering a storm of outrage and defensive backlash across social media. Fans reacted with a mix of despair, fury, and fierce protection of Caitlin Clark, blasting the league, the team, and even Stephanie White for supposedly letting their star be pushed to the edge or burn out. This rapid spread of misinformation served as a stark lesson in how quickly a carefully worded statement can be distorted when it involves a high-profile athlete, especially one generating as much heated discussion as Clark. The episode became less about White's actual words and more about the public's hunger for sensational drama, exposing a glaring flaw in modern news consumption. It was a digital feeding frenzy where context was sacrificed for virality and nuance crushed under the appetite for a shocking narrative. The rush to be first to grab attention eclipsed the basic journalistic duty to verify. Amid this whirlwind of scrutiny, unprecedented pressure, and rampant speculation, Fever head coach Stephanie White remained a steadfast, almost stoic presence, a calm, guiding force through Clark's turbulent rookie season. To grasp her actions, it's crucial to understand White's background and coaching philosophy. A former WNBA player herself, White intimately knows the league's physical and mental demands, having endured them firsthand. This experience gives her unique empathy and insight into what her players, especially a rookie like Clark, face. Her philosophy isn't just X's and O's. It's rooted in player welfare, long-term development, and resilience. She preaches patience, strategic thinking, and prioritizing sustainability over fleeting, unsustainable bursts of glory. This holistic approach has defined her tenure, emphasizing the person behind the player. White has consistently, almost prophetically, spoken with measured calm about managing Clark's workload, protecting her physical and mental health, and developing her carefully for the long term. Even before the season started, she repeated.